Just shift this around here and oh, there we go. Howdy everybody. How goes it? How is everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of Ask the CHOQTOR Live. I am your friendly neighborhood doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and of course CHOQ Chief Scientific Officer Formulator, etc., herb geek, natural living aficionado, whatever you want to call me. Yeah, so getting used to the new software here and enjoying it quite a bit. And yeah, just making sure I get everything, dialed in here. All right, cool. How is everybody doing? Hello, Danny. Hello, Mike. Hello, Dom. I don't see Chocolala yet, which is surprising because she's here almost every time. I'm sure she'll be here in a second. Hello, Sam. What's up? Been a rough day for Canada. Yeah, Sam, I can imagine it has been. Man, it's almost like there's too many new developments, like it's just totally insane. So, what's up, Skylar? How's it going? How you doing there? So, did you guys like the new intro screen and music there? Trying to step it up a notch, seeing if we can possibly, keep it a little bit more pro here. And hello, Andy. How's it going? I keep doing this because my camera's in front of my screen for good viewing, so that's why I have to kind of on the window here. But yeah, what's up? How is everybody? How you guys doing, man? Has it been a chaotic week? How did the full moon treat you? How was that? Sam said you're winning. That's awesome. Very cool. Are you guys enjoying what I have on the screen here? Hello, Chocolala. How's it going? What is up? So yeah. I went ahead and decided to start a new. You like this? The intro, nice. I went ahead and decided to start a new segment here. Well, not segment, but rather a new mini blog series. I'm going to shoot for doing one of these a week. It's called the Cringe Report, and yeah, don't you like this graphic here of the in the bottom right corner? The face that lady's making is pretty hilarious, right? So, thanks for letting us know, Chocolala. Yes, tune in, back in whenever you can. No worries. but yeah, the Cringe Report, the CHOQ Cringe Report, going to be the weekly event or article rather. Hopefully, we'll see. And I thought I would share it with you guys. The idea behind this is if I find something that's absolutely ridiculous, especially if it pertains to the supplement industry and is relevant to what we do, natural living, nutrition, etc., supplements, all that stuff, then if it's something that's cringeworthy and hilarious, then I'm going to share it on the Cringe Report, preferably a video. So, what have we got here? Well, let's check this out, shall we? So it's not really a full blog. It's just a little baby blog here, and it's just basically it's an excuse for me to share something hilarious and ridiculous and to make some comments on it. If you guys tuned in last time, we were talking a lot about I'm going to do a whole series of videos and also articles on the supplements industry. So check out the last episode if you'd like to. Basically, if you don't know, the supplements industry is owned by a ton of different, many, not everybody, but many companies in the supplement industry are owned by mega corporations. And Nestle owns a lot of companies. And so, yeah, there is this video called Super Babies that I featured by Nestle. And check this out. So Nestle, as you guys might know, 150-year-old mega corporation. These are the supplements companies that they own. Garden of Life, Douglas Laboratories, Wobenzyme, Pure Encapsulations, and I'm not making any comment as to whether these products are quality or not. I'll reserve judgment there. But Ester C, Nature's Bounty, Solgar, American Health, Puritan's Pride. Interestingly enough, several of these were previously owned by the Carlyle Group, which has a lot of ties to George H.W. Bush, as well as one of the former, another guy who was like way high up in the CIA. So Carlyle Group involved in weapons, selling weapons and profiting from war, and they own several of these brands. And then recently Nestle acquired at least I think a majority stake in some of these. So they went from warmonger, well, maybe I can't call them warmonger, but let's just say a group that owns weapons companies and had ties to George H.W. Bush to Nestle. So, keep it in the family, right? But yeah, so anyway, once again, these are, as far as I can tell, based on my research, these are the companies that are in the supplements industry that Nestle owns. And again, not saying that these products are good or bad. I'm going to, remain agnostic on that for now. But just so you guys know, and of course, this is just the very, very beginning. We're going to go through all the other mega corporations that own all the other brands as well. But right now, we're focusing on Nestle. Now, why focus on Nestle? Because they're hilarious. Despite Nestle's apparent passion for nutrition and natural living, the company for some reason has drawn the ire of various organizations over its alleged efforts to convince mothers to use its formula instead of breastfeeding, including both the World Health Organization, which we all know and love and trust, of course, and the International Baby Food Action Network. That's right, there is an actual nonprofit called the International Baby Food Action Network that basically tries to make sure that companies that make baby food are acting ethically and not trying to get mothers to use baby food instead of mother's milk, right? And to replace breastfeeding, because we know that that is not necessarily a good thing. So Nestle in the past has been accused of using various different tactics to try to get brand new mothers to stop breastfeeding and to use formula instead. That has been the accusation. And of course, they've gotten a lot of bad press. So because they got so much bad press, of course, what do you do when you get bad press? You probably hire a PR firm, right? To kind of you're like, okay, let's do some damage control, right? So my assumption here, which I think is a fairly safe assumption, is that this absolutely ridiculous, cringeworthy video called Super Babies, which I'm going to show you a little part of for a second here, just for the heck of it, just for S's and grins, as they say. This is clearly part of their kind of PR campaign to convince you that they are super duper serious about promoting breastfeeding. So without further ado, here we go. I dare you not to cringe.
Super babies are born!
Oh. Oh my God.
For those who help our awesome moms, who can share her daily chores, so she can breastfeed for long. Where's your kid, dude? I don't know. Mom breast?
Yeah. It goes on for 4 minutes.
Add to our lives and moms with your big comfy arm.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding someone those who help our awesome moms. When you tell us your story.
Yeah. So anyway, I won't subject you to any more of that because, I'm not trying to actively torture my viewers. Really just wanted to share something that I found to be hilarious. And, who doesn't like a little tiny dose of cringe every once in a while, right? Oh, my God. Yeah. So incidentally, though, if you check out this blog and you want to learn a little bit more about some of the alleged actions of Nestle. I'll just say alleged, just to be sort of legally and journalistically semi-objective. The alleged actions that Nestle, who owns all of these brands, has been accused of by various organizations, then you can click right here on this sentence, alleged efforts to convince mothers to, just click on that here. And let's see where that takes you. Here is a fun little video. Oh, unfortunately, that's an ad. Let's see. Let's just let's get rid of that ad there. Yeah. So anyway, so here's a fun little video here, And this guy is hilarious. His name is Jake Tran, apparently. Anyway, this video is great. Goes into the whole history of Nestle.
For baby formula, instead of starting from scratch, all we gotta do is take a lesson from some of history's foremost experts at molding public opinion.
Anyway, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. And yeah, so you can use this as a jumping off point to do some of your own research if you like. But yes, I think I just lost some brain cells watching that. Yes, Danny, I think that's most likely true. You might want to take some Apex glutathione, which contains ginkgo biloba, as well as bacopa, which are both excellent for the brain, to help protect your brain from the insult of watching inane drivel such as what I just showed you. So I do apologize for doing that to you. Anyway, so yes, there we go. Bam. Now, what does Nestle own? Man, there's a lot of interesting graphs out there. You know, we've got, what do we got here? Okay, everything owned by Nestle. Yeah, so here we go. Got a lot going on here. All this stuff here. Nestle Pure. We got a bunch of different waters, a bunch of different foods. Of course, you know, they've got Cerelac, Nestum, Nestlac, Lactogen, Gerber, all the different baby foods. Nestle seems to really love giving nutrition to small children that is exceptionally high quality, I'm sure. And let's see, what else? Carlos V. So we got some Mexican products in here, Latin American products in here. We've got, yeah, stuff from Russian products, stuff all over the world, really, obviously. They're in every country, virtually. Nescafe. So, yeah, needless to say, they're pretty huge. I think they maybe made between 80 and $100 billion. Was it either last year or the year before, based on my research? So, you know, let's just say they're a pretty darn large company. Yeah. Last week, we also talked about Unilever and how they bought Onnit. And again, not saying that Onnit's products are not good. I'll refrain from commenting on the quality of their products. But, you know, just something to keep in mind. Unilever, certainly not nearly as big as Nestle, but they do own a lot of different brands. And, you know, you always have to ask the question. I won't answer the question. I'll just ask it. You do have to ask the question, what happens to a company's culture, a company that started off where it was all about health and performance optimization and natural living? What happens to that company's culture when it's purchased by one of these multi-billion-dollar mega corporations that's in 58 different countries that owns brands that, you know, have toxic chemicals in them? You have to wonder. You know, I would think that what might happen is maybe in the first few years, everything's the same. And then little by little, like like the frog boiling in water, right? Things get weirder and weirder. And perhaps, you know, I would say 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, then it's very possible as a company like that. It seems like theoretically it might be possible that the culture would get more and more watered down, where there isn't really a serious emphasis perhaps on health so much as profit and selling chemicals. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, I'm not saying that will happen to Onnit, but certainly something to be aware of. Yeah. All right. So what else do we got here? Oh yeah, there's this other interesting video. This is actually the super funny one. This guy goes by Ordinary Things, and you can see the title of his video here. Again, I will refrain from commenting on whether this company is, quote, evil or not, just showing you what this guy says, but this guy's hilarious.
3 cents for every $1 they make in sales. It's
Check
a
this
very profitable commodity, which is crazy because it is just dried milk with some vegetable oils and sugars.
Oh, let's see.
And what's more...
Oh, yeah, it seems to be having some problems playing the video here. It seems to be maybe not operating
Nestle
as well.
launched an aggressive...
Yeah. Well, in that case, we won't play any more of this, but there we go. I wonder if there's some sort of override where I can't play YouTube videos on here. Still learning the software, so please forgive me if everything's not ideal. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, I can see it's coming through. Okay, cool. Yeah, what else do we got here?
Clean water, i.e. all the countries that Nestle was sending their nurses to. As bad PR headlines go, dead babies is pretty much unbeatable, unless it's preceded by the phrase, a gigantic pile of.
This guy is awesome. Ordinary Things, super funny. And of course, he makes fun of the super babies thing in here too.
This colossal dose of bad PR, Nestle have done their best to waft away that dead baby smell. They even funded this pro-boob propaganda
Check this out, guys.
known as the Super Babies.
Yeah, super babies on board. Take it away now.
This is actually another super babies right here.
Look,
Yeah.
I had to watch a lot of these, so I'm flicking them on YouTube.
This is a breastfeed.
Yep, there we go. There's that cringe moment again. All right. Oh boy. Anyhow, I guess I could ask you guys, before I keep rambling on, feel free to holler at me and throw some questions in the chat if you would like. After all, this is called Ask the CHOQTOR, not the CHOQTOR Rambles. Of course, rambling's great and I'm fairly good at it, but if you do have any questions, then feel free to throw them at me. In the meantime, as you're getting your questions in, I would like to actually review this one here. Oh, this is weird. Something happened with my screen here. It's not showing me what's actually happening. Dang. Looks like I've got some kind of problem with my stream here. Huh. Let's see. Window capture. Yeah, something happened where it's not capturing the window anymore. Darn it. Let's see what's happening here. Remove there. Yep. And then let's just see if we can do this. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, everybody. Let's just see what happens if we do this. And let's see, Firefox. Okay. I think there's some kind of failsafe where it doesn't like to stream YouTube on here because it happened after I was streaming YouTube. So my apologies, guys, but here we go. All right, cool. Yeah, I guess I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. Anyway, what have we got here? Let's see. Let's see if we can't just get this right here. Video capture device. Put that on the front top there. Thank you for being patient, everyone. All right, cool. Hopefully my English accent made that a bit more palatable. All right, so let's see. Is the Irish Moss and Seven Wonders an extract or is it the whole powder? Actually, the Irish Moss and Seven Wonders, those are whole powders. Those particular ones, yeah. Good question though, Danny. Thanks for asking. And actually, based on my research on mushrooms, what's interesting is I was under the impression that mushroom extracts were significantly more potent than whole mushroom powders, just like with the herbs. And what I'm actually finding, based on my research, is that that's not necessarily the case. I was utterly shocked because I've actually seen some extracts where whatever they're measuring in the extract, there's not that much more of the active compounds than in the powder. And also sometimes with the extracts, you end up actually removing some of the actives. And so you concentrate some of them and get rid of other ones. And it's sort of the net effect is not that great. By the way, just FYI though, one of the bigger factors, especially with the mushrooms, is, and with the company that I'm working with sourcing now for the newer batch of Seven Wonders, that's going to be an upgraded product. It'll be the same product on the outside, but even better source is ultra fine milling, so that it's very, very easy for the body to absorb. So a super small particle size. So that's a big one too. I think it's going to be like 100 something microns. And that will also make it extremely easy to mix up, which is nice because we plan on doing powders, right? So the plan is we're actually going to be releasing this year, hopefully, later this year, a series of mushroom powders. Will just be like a bunch of cordyceps powder, a bunch of reishi powder, right? And you can mix it right into your drink or your smoothie. And they'll be very finely milled so that if you mix it in just like, let's say even like cold water, you could literally put the powder in there and just do this and it'll mix right up. So that's the deal, yeah. All right, let's see here. So glad to be here. Can you talk about Apex, the benefits of Apex stacked with ashwagandha and daily? Mohammed, yes, I would love to, absolutely. So Apex glutathione. Man, the benefits are extremely wide-ranging. And you know what? Here, I'll go ahead and let's just temporarily, let's just do this for a moment. Do I look a bit blurry? Perhaps I need to clean the lens there. Anyway, so yeah, Apex is obviously it's one of my favorites. the new version of Apex is really souped up when it comes to, actually, you know what? We'll go ahead and let's just pull up Apex right now since we're talking about it, since I can do that now. Let's go to CHOQTOR and check out Apex Glutathione. Of course, by the way, guys, just remember that we do have these stacks here. We have the Immunity with Apex, Armor, and 7 Wonders, and we have the Immunity Ultra with 2 bottles of each of those. The Immunity Ultra, you get a nice price break. So if you want to split this with somebody, even, you know, you can get a really good deal on that, especially if you have a nice fat coupon code. By the way, of course, if any of you guys do need a coupon code, if you wouldn't mind, feel free to use mine, which is MAT40. That'll get you 40% off anything. Obviously, if you have a different coupon code that's better, feel free to use that. You know, I want you to save the most money, but, you know, it is always helpful if you want to use MAT40. That does also help me, you know, get excited about making content, because I do get a little bit of that as far as my payment is concerned. So I do appreciate that. And if you ever want to spread coupon codes to your friends, you can always tell them to use MAT40, just MATT40. That gets you 40% off of anything at CHOQ.com. So just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, so anyway, so Immunity stack, and then let's go to Apex Glutathione. So, Mohammed, your question was if I could talk about Apex and stacked with ashwagandha and daily. Now, they're pretty different products, but they do really support each other, I feel like. One of the reasons that some of the overlap between those products is that Apex is helpful for hormone health, but in a different way. So, you know, we always talk about the chemicals, right? It's all about the chemicals, you know? We know that pesticides, for example, right? Glyphosate and atrazine, right? We know, by the way, of course, that one of the reasons that we have such a problem with things like fertility, with hormone health, why sperm counts are going down, why testosterone's in the gutter for so many people, men and women, is because of all the chemicals in the environment. So the reason that a product like glutathione is helpful for hormone health is because it enhances detoxification. So if you want to have healthy hormones, you want to make sure that you're always supporting your detox pathways, right? So that your body can get rid of some of these offending chemicals that are in the foods, in the water, in the air, all throughout the environment, in the soils, et cetera, right? So yes, so this is just like the other products you mentioned, like Daily, for example, and what was the other one you mentioned? Ashwagandha, right? Now, of course, ashwagandha and Daily are not just for hormone health. Clearly, they're for mood, for stress support, energy, all that stuff too, right? But yes, that would be the one of the connections there. Another big connection is that Apex is great for mood support. As you can see here, I made sure to put healthy mood and focus right here. And it's very true, especially now. Let's check out the label on Apex. You know, you can see right here, we've got the ginkgo in there now, as well as of course, we have a double dose of the jagulan, which is great for brain, for focus and all that. And of course, the bacopa, the Bacchognize, clinically studied bacopa extract. And yeah, so Apex Glutathione is actually a really great focus formula, as well as being helpful for detox. So it's really pretty dual or multi-purpose. It's like a Swiss Army knife. It does a whole bunch of different things. And ashwagandha also has a reputation for being excellent for mood support. It's one of our best mood support herbs. And of course, Daily with the mucuna pruriens, which helps with dopamine support, all that stuff, Daily is fantastic. So yeah, I would say, Mohammed, to answer your question, those three, ashwagandha, Daily, and Apex, obviously for men, since Daily is a men's supplement, those three together, fantastic mood support combo. Yeah, so that is great. And of course, you know, ashwagandha does have some antioxidant properties. Is it the strongest antioxidant we carry? No, but it does have some documented antioxidant properties. If you guys ever want to do a deep dive into ashwagandha, go to the Chalk Nation YouTube channel and check out the one called Deep Dives with Dr. Dorsey. Yes. But yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nikki Wee, Matt40. Go ahead and use that coupon code. And if you guys have any friends who want to try Chalk, you know, feel free to throw them that coupon code. You know, if you need a coupon code to share with your friends or family, that would be the one. And like I said, having a little bit of action on coupon code certainly is appreciated. It does help me out, and and helps support. CHOQ obviously wants to know that we're doing good things with all this great content, and it helps to guarantee that this content can continue, because obviously, like any other company, we want to make sure we're putting our attention in places that are actually generating interest. So yeah, definitely feel free to always use that MAT40 coupon code if you can. But yeah, Muhammad, great question. Thank you so much. Let's see. Andy says, I used to use certain types of MG for muscle spasms. Cool. So Andy, as far as Shilajit being helpful, and I'll go ahead and pull Shilajit up right now since we're talking about it. Andy, to answer your question about Shilajit, I have not heard people say that Shilajit is helpful for muscle relaxation per se. But what's interesting is that Shilajit actually enhances the absorption, at least the fulvic acid, which our Shilajit is 30. I think it's usually in the 40% fulvic acid range, at least 30. It varies from batch to batch. But fulvic acid does enhance the absorption of minerals. And that's why I say if you take Shilajit, take your Shilajit with your magnesium or your potassium or your calcium or zinc or whatever it is, because fulvic acid tends to enhance the absorption of minerals. So actually, if you take Apex glutathione has selenium and molybdenum in it. So theoretically, the fulvic acid that's in the Shilajit might boost your absorption of the minerals in Apex glutathione. But yeah, so it's possible that magnesium, the magnesium that maybe you're taking the Shilajit with, that's in the food, possibly maybe it's helping absorb it. That's not the best theory. That's just a kind of a weak maybe type theory. But yeah, Shilajit has so many amazing properties. It's one of my favorite adaptogens. I actually have the pure powder, of course, because I get the hookup. So I have some pure powder as a sample directly from our, the manufacturer we use for the Shilajit, and I've gotten in the habit of just putting a scoop directly in hot water in the mornings, mixing it with a bunch of other really awesome herbs, and it really gets the job done that way. Really hits you, but yeah. So long story short, though, I can't explain exactly why Shilajit would have that property, Andy, to be quite frank, but I could theorize all day long. We know that Shilajit is excellent for mitochondrial function, right? Notice the properties down here. Enhanced mitochondrial function, number 1. We've got that video on the CHOQ Nation YouTube, right? That's all about all the science on Shilajit. It's actually our number 1 most popular one. And of course, we have a couple blogs on Shilajit. And if you guys want to learn more, and I'm sure, a lot of you guys are probably diehard CHOQ fans, so maybe you've already read these, but in case not, this is one I wrote a while back called Shilajit, an Ideal Adaptogen for Challenging Times. And I actually embedded the video right here, the real science behind Shilajit. Yeah, this has a few thousand views. This is our most popular video on YouTube so far. And we go really deep into what Shilajit does. So yeah, definitely. And of course, we do have, there's also a science page. We do list the references. By the way, just so you guys know, you can always go down to the bottom of the CHOQ website, go to research. We've got, so for example, these are the actual real studies right here. The actual references to the studies that have been done specifically on the Shilajit ingredient that's in CHOQ Shilajit. Just FYI, you can go there if you want. So yeah. All right. Danny says, I feel like Thanos with 5 stones when I take a double dose of every single CHOQ supplement while sipping on brewed cacao beans. Nice. Danny, you should put that as a review next time you get a chance to review a CHOQ product. That's awesome. I love that. Of course, Thanos is a little bit on the evil side, but, obviously, I think we get it. Super duper powerful. So that's awesome. Can I talk about the effects of CHOQ armor on DNA? Interesting. Well, I can't tell you perhaps anything super duper specific regarding the effects of the product as a whole on DNA. What I can say is that it does contain astragalus, not a huge amount, but some astragalus as a secondary support kind of herb. And astragalus has been implicated in a positive way for DNA health, specifically supporting telomere length, That's a whole thing I haven't actually researched in a while, but I won't get into all the details on that. And I will say in general, obviously we know that many of the things that we sell, that CHOQ sells, are antioxidants. Quercetin is an excellent antioxidant. Of course, astragalus contains antioxidants. And in general, if you want to preserve the integrity of all of your cells, then antioxidants are essential. And so as far as maintaining DNA health, that's a good one. Now, I will say specifically regarding supporting healthy DNA replication, Apex glutathione would be a big one because that one actually does contain folate and B12, and you need both folate and B12 to help prevent DNA mutation. In fact, that's the reason that women who are pregnant are given folate, because if they don't have enough folate, then the baby can have issues. All right, because if you think about it, you've got rapidly dividing cells in a growing fetus, and every time that cell divides, and you have to create two pairs of DNA out of the one, right? You have this kind of copying and pasting that's happening with all the different with the DNA, right? As the cell splits, then at that point it's essential that you want to make sure that you don't have errors where you're getting poor, what would the word be? Accuracy. I'm sure there's a better word for that, but yeah. So Apex glutathione would be another one to look into for sure. All right. And let's see here. Not taking magnesium anymore, but I'm taking glutamine powder. Yeah, and Andy, also, it's hard to know with these things. With something like that, there could be many different factors that could alter it. I will say I'm a huge fan of magnesium, though, and obviously CHOQ doesn't have a magnesium, but if anybody out there enjoys magnesium, the forms that I do recommend are magnesium taurate. That's great. Also, another one that's really good for the brain is magnesium L-threonate. And magnesium glycinate is also decent. Not quite as awesome as the taurate or the threonate. The threonate is going to be very different. That's really specific to brain. Taurate, great for everything. Taurate also especially good for if you want to have a relaxing effect on the nervous system. All magnesiums will do that, but taurine is inherently relaxing to the nervous system. Yeah. All right. Andreas, I'm doing pretty darn well, actually. Thank you for asking. And, you didn't miss too much. What else am I going to talk about? So we were talking earlier about, how it's kind of the Wild West with regard to supplements, right? And, sometimes when I say Wild West, I'm referring to the smaller companies, because it's the really, really small companies out there that do all sorts of crazy, really wacky stuff where they're putting adulterants in there. But the super duper big companies, they're not necessarily breaking the law, but they're just doing weird loophole kind of stuff that's not cool, right? Obviously we're going to keep talking about the number of supplement companies, which is alarmingly high, that are owned by giant multi-billion-dollar mega corporations that may or may not actually care about natural health or have any passion for it. And so then that brings up the issue of supplement quality. So this is one of, guys, if you want to share this with your friends or family or whatever, anybody who's looking for just an easy way to tell if a supplement is junk, this is one I wrote a while back on the CHOQ website, on the CHOQ blog, obviously. And this is pretty mind-blowing. So, in it, I kind of go through, and I have a way of categorizing. These are just my estimates. There's basically three kinds of supplement companies, right? The creme de la creme, which obviously CHOQ is in, right? I think this is well under 10%. 10% is being generous. There are a few fantastic brands that are led by passionate, well-trained people. Brands that actually have people like me working for them. They care about sourcing. They take pride in it, and they actually make innovative products. Small percentage of companies are like this. Like I said, under 10%, but probably way less than that, to be honest. Then we have the clones. I call them the Me Too companies. Pretty mediocre brands. They're not necessarily shady. They don't have the highest quality ingredients. They kind of just do what everybody else does. They've got the whey protein, they've got the collagen powder, they've got the ashwagandha, blah, blah, blah. They're probably business type people. These are the companies who, if given a choice between organic and conventional, even if the conventional only costs 5% less, they will still buy the conventional product to save money, the ingredient. These are the companies that are just owned by only people who just like business, who have no passionate people who probably, or very few, right, who actually really live the lifestyle. And then we have the bottom feeders. I say easily 50%. I could be wrong. Who knows? But these are the brands that will do whatever it takes to make money. Combination of illegal and illegal tactics to trick people into buying their products. Often they will drastically underdose you on anything that's expensive. They will hide behind proprietary blends, so that you don't know that they're underdosing you. FDA warning letters. Let's look at an FDA warning letter, what that looks like, right? Here we go. You've got, you guys can look at this on the FDA website. You've got companies out there who are doing all sorts of weird stuff. They are, and some of them are not, some of them are just using the wrong terminology and they don't know how to talk right. But some of them are literally, some of these companies are literally putting actual pharmaceuticals in their products and trying to get away with it. That does happen. So like right here, for example, check this out. Yeah. So here we go. So so they found 353 adulterated sexual enhancement supplements, and out of them, 80% of them actually contained Viagra. So there's actually companies out there pretending to sell natural, like libido, testosterone type products and putting actual drugs in there. So yeah, obviously the FDA, we know they're not necessarily ideal. Let's just put it that way, right? But at least some of the time they're catching these guys, so at least they're doing something right, Anyway, you have to be careful. CBD industry is a big one. You got to be really careful with those guys. CBD is the new gold rush. There's lots of bad actors with CBD. FDA is looking out, trying to catch all the bad actors in the CBD realm. Anyway, so yeah, but I'll just tell you right now, 3 ways. Very, very easy things to look out for. Number 1, look for low bioavailability vitamins and minerals. So this is really easy. I actually made a list right here in red. So you can actually just open the blog and you can scroll right down to the red section. And you can share this with anybody else who needs an easy way to shop. These are things to look out for. And if your product contains any of these, I would recommend not taking it personally. So this is a way where if you're at the natural grocery store or whatever, or you're on Amazon or wherever it is that you shop, and you're trying to figure out if your product is legit or not, the one that you have in your hand or in your browser, if it contains any of these, it's not great. Not great at all. Also, just to let you guys know, take the difference between cheap folic acid from China. Folic acid is the crappy synthetic version of folate that CHOQ will not use, and the patented and clinically researched version of methylfolate, the special one that we use called quadrafolic that we use in Apex glutathione. Let's look at the difference in cost here. $60 per kilogram, $12,000 per kilogram. Now those are both on the label, those are both folate, right? So either way you can say 1,000 micrograms of folate, 800 micrograms of folate, right? But look at the difference in price. 200 times as much per kilogram to put an American-made, patented, clinically researched, or at least pre-clinically researched folate in there, right? That is the industry standard for top shelf. Versus you can buy a big old barrel for a few $100, 5 kilogram barrel or something, for like $300 of cheap folic acid from China. So just, that some of these companies, they are paying absolute dirt cheap prices for dirt cheap products. So yeah, that's number one. Be on the lookout for these kind of crappy ingredients here. Number two, watch out for proprietary blends and fairy dusting. You guys know that Chalk is a full disclosure company, and so that means that we do not use proprietary blends. We tell you every single thing that's in there and every single amount of every single thing. Here is a made-up proprietary blend right here. It's called I literally just made this up. Madman Mega Pump Proprietary Blend. It's kind of a bro supplement, So anyway, and just so you guys know, the way that this works is all these ingredients under this proprietary blend heading, fenugreek, turmeric, etc., all you get to know is the total, 1,500 milligrams, right? You don't get to know how much of anything is in there. And notice how it's manufactured by Red Flag City Nutraceuticals, LLC. So, other ingredients you really don't want to know. So anyway, long story short though, this could be like 1,490 milligrams of fenugreek, the first ingredient, and it could be like 1 to 2 milligrams of everything else in here, turmeric, green tea, right? Subactive doses that do nothing, and that would be completely legal. The company's not breaking the law. So just so you know. Yeah, and number 3, know the difference between powdered herbs and herbal extracts. Now, I'm not saying that a pure powdered herb is always bad. It depends on the case, on the situation. Like Irish moss, for example, that's more of a superfood. That's going to be more amenable to a pure powder and not necessarily an extract. And with the mushrooms extracts are not as important based on on my research, because some of the extraction techniques will actually get rid of some of the beneficial active compounds. So it's a trade-off. That's actually one of the reasons that I took the reishi out of Apex, is because I realized that even though it was a potent extract, that it actually was getting rid of some of the beneficial actives. So a bit of a trade-off. But for the herbs, a lot of the time the herbs, you are getting a lot more potent product. Not always, but a lot of the time with the herbs. But yeah, superfoods, mushrooms, they can be a little bit different in terms of the effects there. But anyway, so yeah. But yeah, that's another example here. And let's just compare real quick this made up supplement facts panel here to an actual product from Chalk. Notice again how we tell you the exact amount of every single thing, and also notice how we are using concentrates and extracts, right? Whereas up here, it doesn't really tell you anything, and you have to assume that all these herbs right here are just going to be plain old-fashioned raw herbs. So yes, don't buy from Red Flag City. And again, this is one of those super duper helpful videos or blogs that if you guys know anybody who needs a little education and needs some smart shopping tips, that is super helpful that you can send article you can send them. So yeah. All right, let's see. What do we got here? So, magnesium break from Bioptimizers. Yeah, I know JP Sears actually. He actually represents that brand, and I've looked at it. It doesn't look too bad. So yeah, that one looks decent. Let's see here. What else we got? All right. Is Tomcat hard for the intestines to absorb? No, not at all. Tomcat is not necessarily something that I have ever had issues or heard of issues with from a digestive standpoint. So not entirely sure what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you've had some cramping in your abdomen. You might want to, certainly everybody's different, and some people can have sensitivities. So not saying it is or isn't the Tomcat, but you could experiment and see if there's anything else, that you're taking that, could be causing discomfort for sure. And always feel free, if you have any other questions, Andreas, always feel free to reach out to our customer service folks, and you can also, of course, ask me questions in the comments. But yeah, if you have anything like that going on, you can always reach out to customer service, and we'll try to make sure we have all your questions answered, of course. What else is interesting in here? I think there was one more I was going to show you guys. What was it? Oh yeah, Bacopa. So just wanted to remind you guys that Apex is our best product for brain support now, especially because it's got the ginkgo in there on top of the Bacopa. So if you guys want to learn more about Bacopa, which I call a neuroadaptogen, then this is a really awesome article. Definitely recommend checking it out. Bacopa does work on a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine, if y'all don't know, if you want to get a little nerdy here for a second, Bacopa is a cholinergic nootropic, meaning that it is a brain-supporting herb that boosts acetylcholine. And in the pharmacology and science world and neurology world, we call it cholinergic, just meaning it boosts acetylcholine. And acetylcholine is one of your most essential neurotransmitters for memory, short-term memory, long-term memory, all that stuff. And we do have, the Bacognize does have some studies, and Bacopa in general does have studies showing that it is able to support healthy memory. So yeah. Also, of course, one of the really cool things is that these herbs that I put in Apex, they're not just supporting, they're not just for like general brain memory and all that, but they're actually supporting glutathione synthesis within the brain. And remember that toxins can get anywhere into your body, right, including into your brain. And so having some extra glutathione in the brain might not be a bad idea if you're interested in ensuring that things that are getting into your brain that are toxic are being neutralized and leaving the brain. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Danny says, do you recommend taking Tomcat in split dose or one big dose? Danny, I would say, if you're taking 200 milligrams a day, 2 100 milligram capsules, if you can spread it out, adaptogens tend to be a little bit better when spread out, but it's not completely necessary. So either way is probably fine, really. Yeah. And we actually, this is a fun little article because I also just go into different neurotransmitters. We talk about serotonin here, and we talk about glutathione here too. So yeah. And of course, this is one of my ultra nerdy blogs, so it might be too geeky for some people. But definitely, I would highly recommend if you want to get nerdy. Look, we got 16 references here. All right, that's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah. So definitely, this is one to check out, guys. So I believe I am going to actually head out here in just a moment. Not going to be doing any prizes today, but I will be doing several next time, and I'm going to save up my prize credits to give out to you guys for the next transmission. So make sure you stay tuned, and make sure you tune in next time, because I'll be giving away a couple of bundles, and it'll be fantastic. So I'm going to head out in just a moment here. Don't forget to check out the new blog series, the cringe report. If you weren't here for the beginning, that's a fun one. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. This is a lot of fun, of course. And yeah, much love to you guys.